Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Student Pages podcast. I'm very excited for our first guest today. He's an incredible musician, beatboxer, MC, DJ, the man of a million mouth-made musical noises. He's very impressive and very amusing. It's Beardyman. Hello, Beardyman.
Hey, man. You nearly alliterated that perfectly. Million man-made musical...
Yeah,
I was machinations. That would have been a good M.
I had a thesaurus open earlier,
yeah,
trying to work out how to make that smooth.
It was pretty good.
I was thinking murmurations, but that's not a word.
Murmurations could have been good. You know, that's. I know you did pretty well. I can't think of any of you.
But I am interviewing the first. So you were the first live music show I ever saw.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you were the first show I ever saw at the Edinburgh Festival.
Whoa.
Do you remember one album per hour?
I do. Yeah, well, it wasn't that long ago. It was about 3 years ago. Yeah, I remember it well. I remembered it well. Those were the days. Yeah, I did this show called One Album Per Hour, which was where I would make a new album every night. It was madness. Can I swear on this?
I think try and refrain. If it slips out, it's all right.
But it was bawling awful. I can tell. No. It was really good, but it was arduous to do it because I was making a new album every night. And actually, while I was doing it, I toured the UK with this thing, and I genuinely was making this music. So I had this like whole computer set up where I was like live looping, all this stuff and all these keyboards I had and everything. So it's proper music based on audience suggestions. They'd write stuff down and they'd put it in this hat, and I'd get the hat, and then I'd be like. But yeah, it was cool. I was doing it in these like theatres and stuff. But at the same time, I was doing the music for this Netflix series. So like in the dressing rooms during the interval and before and after, and in the car on the way back, and to in service stations and stuff on the motorway, I was making the music for this Netflix series whilst I was making a new album every night.
You were making a lot of music.
It was a stressful time, but I made a lot of music.
That's crazy. Well, I remember exactly what our album was called.
What was it?
Because I had to remember it because you said you were going to upload them.
I uploaded some of them, but I didn't want to flood the internet with just hours and hours and hours and hours. I've still got the recordings.
Oh, really?
Maybe I'll like sell them.
Well, our one, if you can find it, it was I think the album was called Stephen Hawking's School of Dance, which was insensitive then, but now it's.
Well, I didn't come up with that though.
No, it was an audience suggestion, but and the band was Pogo Sticks.
Right.
Yeah. But it was brilliant.
I've got no memory of that.
It was brilliant, and I was so impressed that the album spanned so many genres as well. Because you have just a talent for making. You can make pretty much any noise, right? Would you say you can make any noise?
I can't make any noise.
What are there noises you struggle with?
I can go. So I should clarify as well. I've got a looper in front of me. I can make all those noises, but not all at the same time. But none of those noises were like that dope. They were quite dope. I don't know. I'm my own worst critic. Maybe that was amazing. I
like that. I think you proved your point though that you can certainly make noises.
I can make some noises, but we can all make noises. But lots of us are discouraged from doing so when we're young.
Do you think so?
I encourage my children to make weird noises. I don't know whether I should. I'm probably making them really strange people. But they'll be like, I'll be like, well done.
No one encouraged you to make noises, right, when you were young?
No. They actively tried to stop me, but I prevailed. I showed them.
When did you start?
No, but it's funny because like I'm 179 years old, and back in my day there were no beatboxers that were really killing it. There was like the Fat Boys, who were not that well known in England and were rubbish at beatboxing, but they were the best there was. So they were like, which is crap. And you had like Will Smith, who was also crap at beatboxing, and you had Michael Winslow, who wasn't really a beatboxer, but he was genius. He's the guy from Police Academy.
Yeah.
Which probably came out like 15 years before most people listening to this were born. Check out the Police Academy movies. Or actually don't, they're terrible. But check out the clips of the guy that makes the noises, Michael Winslow. He was dope. If not, ask your mum. But still, yeah. Now there are beatboxers. Loads of them. Millions of them. All around the world. And they share noises on YouTube. And I was a judge the other day on it was a beatbox battle. It was like a loop station battle. So like people doing what I just did, but like even gooder. And like, I mean, yeah, it's mad. There's this whole beatbox community now. So like people don't, if you started beatboxing today in 2019, people would be like, oh, dope, you're beatboxing. But like back in my day, when I was a kid, people would be like, what is that? Stop it. Because it was like a weird nervous habit, like it was Tourette's or something.
No way.
So a lot of beatboxers of my generation are sort of similar with their genesis story, where they'll be like, yeah, I was, it was like a weird habit that people told me to stop doing, and then one day we're all out in a park being silly, getting high, and then I started beatboxing, and everyone's like, damn. That was my story anyway.
Wow. Are there any noises that you've had to like perfect over the years?
Well, what is perfection if not illusory? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You can get away. You can pull off like trumpets and stuff. Anyone can do that.
Go on.
Well, I mean, I'm always sort of trying to improve it. I mean, it's I'll never sound exactly like any of the things I'm trying to imitate, but I'll say the thing. It's kind of bad acid nightmare trip at the end with the reverb tail.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you do any genre, do you think?
No. Like, well, yeah, but I could probably do like a bad pastiche of any genre.
What about Gregorian chants?
Yeah, dope. Sure. And shit.
Wow. I did not think you were gonna. But I mean, no. Well done. I don't think many people could have pulled that off. But that was great.
Can I get a round of applause?
Yeah.
Yay! We've got to generate some atmosphere. Fantastic. There's more people in this room than just you and I. It's a sweaty little box somewhere in Soho, isn't it?
I'm really worried. I'm showing up really pink on camera. This is what.
I forgot this is being filmed. I completely forgot.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Hey. Yeah. How are you? Fine. Don't tell me. I don't care.
But I meant to ask you because you have a song coming out.
That's true.
But you also
on which I do not beatbox at all.
In which you do not beatbox at all.
Yeah, it's the first song I've ever released in which there is none of the stuff I just did whatsoever.
Well, I was going to ask you because for someone who can make an album every hour, making it like sitting down to record an actual track can't be the same process, because you could make music anytime, any place.
Yeah. I mean, there's always like a sort of time, money, quality sort of trifecta thing. You can only have any two of those things, and I think the same goes for music sometimes. Or you've got to be in the right frame of mind, the right space, with the right setup, and the right equipment, and the right people around you, and the right vibes to kind of smash something out. That's kind of why that's why I like doing improvised music, because there's always a vibe, and if it's a bit rough around the edges, that's cool. But yeah, I've been working on a lot of music for the last sort of couple of years. I've been in hiding a bit because I had twins, and that's mental, because I don't know if anyone listening to this has twins, but oh my god.
I don't have twins. I can't.
So yeah, I've just been kind of like raising them, sort of making music in the background. But this one particular track is it's one that it samples Joe Rogan, the podcaster and comedian, reading out the daily drug routine of Hunter S. Thompson. And I was just listening to it, and I was like, oh my god, this needs to be a tune. So I made it a tune.
Is that what happened? You listened to the the Joe Rogan interview, and then you were like, I need to sample this?
I mean, I've been listening to Joe Rogan for years, which doesn't make me special. Millions of people have been listening to Joe Rogan for years, but like, yeah, no, I was just like, why isn't that a tune? So I've made it into a tune.
Yeah, it is crazy.
But
The daily
it's
routine.
dope. But it's funny because it's kind of snowballed where it's been kind of. I mean, no one's heard this track yet, but you're about to. Like, it's got this amazing video that is coming out attached to the track, which is complete nuts. Comes from left field from this guy called Ian Pons Jewell, who I hadn't heard of previously, but turns out he's a genius. And he pitched for this video idea, and it is the most unreal, not safe for work piece of madness that I'd ever read when I read the pitch for it. And I was like, that's so mad, surely not. And then I saw his portfolio of all his work, and I was like, oh my god, he's a genius.
Yeah,
I think he's actually gonna pull this off. And he has done. They're doing all the CGI at the moment, so I'm not going to give too much away. But it's the most mental thing I've ever been involved in my life. Yeah, it's completely insane. I'm expecting it to take the internet by some sort of storm, some level, like category 4 or 5, maybe at least. Storm, internet storm.
category 5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. It's either going to be an enormous success, or I'm going to be cancelled within the first 2 minutes of it being on the internet.
Really?
I don't know. It's
Is
mental.
that because you've been on your you've been on your Twitter talking about how you've got something big coming that you can't talk about, but is that a different
This
thing?
is part of it.
It's part of it.
This track is more or less what I've been talking about, which is mad that it's been such an insane journey to for this track to be sort of made and released and everything. But yeah,
you said it had taken you two years.
Well, I mean, the track itself didn't, but it's kind of a big release for me. This because the video is unbelievably dope. It's going to be sort of properly out there on the sort of music internet, and yeah, I mean it's been signed to RCA, which is crazy because in the past I've done stuff with major labels. I mean, sorry, independent labels, which has been kind of more of a kind of lackadaisical affair of like, yeah, you know, put some music out.
You've managed to be successful in all of these different fields, you know, because I mentioned it briefly, but the Beardytron, right? What is the Beardytron 5000?
Yeah, it's a machine I built.
Yeah,
to transmogrify audience suggestions into music. But actually, no, that show that you saw was kind of a showcase for it.
Yeah,
but
I thought so.
I only made it because I'd always had this twisted vision that you could start with no idea of what you're going to do and sort of make music in real time. And I'm not the only one to have that dream, but I think I was one of the only people mad enough to try and actually do it. But the stuff that I've got now that I play live with it's different again from that. So it's actually based around Ableton, which, for those who don't know, is it's a computer program, and it allows you to make tunes. But it's not something that I've designed myself. But yeah, that thing that you saw me doing the show with was like, it was software that I had built specifically for me.
So you've your music making career has been it's gone through these different stages.
Weird, pretty unconventional.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done all kinds of mad stuff. Like, I really have. I played on like, I think the lineup that I'm the most like pleased with that I was ever on was between Chaz and Dave and Square Pusher, which is like, for those who don't know, Square Pusher is like kind of music, and Chaz and Dave like that says more about the rave than me. It was Bangface, the Bangface Weekender.
Oh right.
Do you know about Bangface? Is that even still going? It's madness. It's yeah, as you might imagine from the name, it was hardcore. Like, I went in there on day 3, and it was at Camber Sands, I think it was Pontins, and and they were showing the early 80s nuclear apocalypse film Threads on the closed circuit TV system around this like sort of horrible holiday camp, and that was pretty bleak. And then there was just like bodies everywhere. There were just people just like covered in their own vomit and urine, just lying in stairwells, just groaning, and like the whole place stank. And there was just like apocalyptic kind of like, you know, Aphex kind of music, you know, pouring out everywhere, and it was mad. And then they had Chaz and Dave on.
Yeah, why would what Chaz and Dave doing there?
I don't know. I think it's because, you know, like on the Sunday slot at Glastonbury is always someone a bit quirky.
Right.
So I think that's what they wanted to do, something like that. Just because if you're mashed on a day 3 of a really, really hardcore rave, maybe you want some Chaz and Dave.
If there had been like a really active community when you were coming up, do you think you would have been encouraged or discouraged because maybe
because of the competition? I don't know. I mean, to be a younger guy, because then when I was just starting out, I was sort of young and hungry for success in this kind of mad field. Because if you think about it, beatbox is an effort to achieve the impossible. I know that sounds kind of grandiose, but it's kind of you're trying to make your mouth reproduce sounds that it probably wasn't designed to. So you've got to kind of psychoacoustically reverse engineer the sounds that you want to hear, or you just play around with your mouth until you can find a sound that you didn't know it could make before, or you try and mimic the sounds that other people have made, and there's this vast lexicon now of all these kind of extra vocal sounds,
noise that you can do that like no one else can do, that you feel really proud of.
I can do a decent baby crying. That's just because I've only been exposed to it.
Go on.
But no one wants that. That doesn't rock a club.
Are you sure?
You can't do that on a mic and people are like, boo!
You can't do anything with that at all?
I could do something. I don't know if you want to hear it.
I'd love to hear it.
It's fucking awful.
That was great.
It's horrible.
No, it is quite annoying, but no, but I appreciate you trying. That was great.
No, I had. There was a thing that I was doing in some of my sets for a while. I've stopped doing it now because it's really weird. I just used to do it for my own amusement, where I'd like mime like a baby being blended in a blender.
You'd mime it?
Yeah, I'd be like sound mimes. I'd be like doing like a. I'd be like. But I'd like act it out and everything. I could have done it because anyway. And then I'd like be like and like mime drinking it.
Wow.
And then the crowd would be like, oh, and I'd be like, it's not fucking real. Or I'd be like,
too real.
I'd be like, you love that. That's your favourite. I stopped doing it after a while because it's a really weird thing to do. It spoils the vibe. Sometimes I do it and it just be difficult to win them back for the next couple of minutes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming along, Beardyman.
Thank you, man. And I'm sorry about everything. I won't do it again.
Yeah.
Day one. Nice. It wasn't a good night.